right? I didn't know how I felt about reacting to this shit. But Andrew Wilson calls out a former OF model. So let me give you guys a little bit of context. Andrew Wilson has been a very proclaimed Christian on the internet, kind of defending everything. He's kind of like the opposite of Destiny. He's like a debater, but he debates for the opposite side, and he's more God-pilled than anything. And what's happening here, you guys are going to find out.
I'm not going to take a correction from a whore. Yes.
So my thing is, too, you want to talk about lying, and then you said...
For 6 months. You were a whore 6 months ago. Now you're going to correct what the Bible says?
8 months ago.
Get real.
8 months ago.
I'm not going to take correction.
Wait, Andrew, isn't there
6 months ago? That's insane.
You know what I would say then, if you're not going to take correction from her or anyone, okay, I get it, but take correction from me. The attitude of which you're showing right now does not demonstrate the attitude of Christ. He went to a woman who was caught in the act, and all the Pharisees wanted to stone her.
Who is this guy? No idea.
And he said, "Get up, go sin no more." And loved her. Even if what you're saying is true, and I'm not agreeing to that either, how you're communicating it, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. There is no love for any of the people that he's talking to right there.
Okay, so basically what's happening, right? So Andrew Wilson is talking to a girl, Nala, which we've seen plenty of clips of her on this channel, bro. We've definitely seen a lot of clips of her, and she would be like a proclaimed thought. Like literally, she would be on here talking about, I like making guys cheat, I like sucking dick, you know, saying crazy shit like that, right? And about 6-8 months ago, I'm not really too sure, she had like a coming to God where she completely flipped. She's like, you know, don't do OnlyFans now and everything, right? And then she started preaching to the world that like, yo, you know, start following God, etc., etc. And I think the major argument right now that most people who've been in this space are like, yo, why the hell is she in the right position to try to teach me about God when 6 months ago you were talking about sucking dick, doing all types of crazy shit, right? And it's completely understandable why they take that standpoint, right? I completely understand. Like the flip was automatic, and out of nowhere, you know, she was preaching, right? Like, let's say, like last week she was sucking dick, making crazy videos and shit. The next week she was talking about God. So generally, and I think naturally, anyone who is already in this space is like, what the what? Like, who are you to like, you're not even Christian like that, right? You're not even, how are you going to say you be following God now? Like, what, 2 weeks ago, you was just going crazy on the day, right? And no one's knocking that she, you know, she chose to quit and she found God. That's a great fucking thing. But I think naturally what people are trying to figure out is like, yo, look, bro, like, go learn a little bit. Go learn a little bit about God. Go be in the faith for a decent amount of time. Go build some habits around it. Go actually live in the faith for a while before you decide to start educating others. It's considered what's saying like you're a newborn Christian. And I mean, I could see it from Andrew's standpoint, right? Like, dude, you just came to Christ and you're trying to tell me that I'm wrong? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, not that long ago, you was doing some crazy stuff. But I also understand the other viewpoint, right? That us as Christians, we aren't to, we aren't to cast stones at sinners, you know? Because at the end of the day, what they've done and I've done are viewed the same in the eyes of the Lord. So I think both parties are wrong. I do think that Andrew is wrong for like ripping her ass open every single time she speaks about God. And basically kind of like shedding a negative light towards her, right? Like I 100% think that's wrong. And I also think, not the first time for her, that's crazy. But I also do think that Nala does need to step in her faith a little bit for a prolonged period of time. Understand why Christians aren't going to accept her right away and can't, won't see her right away, who won't see eye to eye to her right away because she does come from a very open past of some crazy stuff. And yes, Christ did say, to the prostitute as she was getting caught in the act to stand up and sin no more. But it's hard for us to see it from Christ's perspective, right? We aren't Jesus himself. We aren't God himself. We can't always expect people to act that way. Right? I'm not Jesus. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I want to listen to what Nala is saying. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't want to listen to shit she has to say. Not because I think she's a bad person. Not because I don't think what she has to say is valuable. But because her past has definitely tainted my worldview on her, and I'd rather just not associate with that. Not because I don't think she's actually following Christ or anything, but because I want to continue developing my relationship with God, and that's it. I just want to develop my relationship with God. In the future, when I'm a lot more religiously matured, maybe I could listen to her. But I know right now I'm not in the position to be like, let me listen to what Nala has to say. Maybe she has something good to say, right? It's like this fool George Janko versus a Nala. Why would I listen to a Nala when I could listen to George Janko, right? Not only because George Janko doesn't have such a tainted past. Like, we all have a tainted past, but we don't all get to see our tainted past, right? I don't know what George Janko has done. All I know that fool's been on the Logan Paul podcast, and then they had a fallout, and then he started going really religious. Nala, we clearly saw her on TikTok all the time making the that face and shit. And then all of a sudden she's talking about God. It's like, whoa. It's like, what type of 360? I'm still trying to get over the fact that you was doing that crazy shit on TikTok. Right? So I think that's generally the viewpoint of it. And I think both parties have some fault. But we also, as Christians, we have to understand that, not all of us are religiously and relationship-wise mature enough to understand what's going on, bro.